Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm just going to give it just about another minute as people continue to move in from the waiting room, and then we'll get started. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District's informational webinar about our Business Opportunity Program. My name is Jen Alting from the Communications and Community Relations team here at the district, and I will be your moderator for today's discussion. Just to let you know, today's meeting will be recorded and it will be posted online to neorsd.org/opportunity. It will probably be posted sometime tomorrow. If you have any questions about the program, please use the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen, and we will both answer some of those questions live, or we will answer them in the Q&A function itself. If you have any questions or you think of anything later on, or you are watching this recording, please feel free to send us an email to askus, A-S-K-U-S, askus@neorsd.org. Also with us today is Katie Wag, Assistant General Counsel with the Sewer District. Many of you may know Katie through our contracting process, and she can answer any legal questions that you have today. And with that, I would like to turn the program over to our Chief Executive Officer, Kyle Dreyfus-Wells.
Thanks, Jen, and thanks everyone for attending today. So as we communicated last month, we have changed our business opportunity program to stay in conformity with federal guidance towards race and gender neutrality. And this webinar is an opportunity to provide some additional context and details. So whether you're a current contractor, subcontractor, business owner, or a community partner, we're really happy to have you joining us today for this discussion. So we established our first small business enterprise program in 2009, and since that time, the program has resulted in tens of millions of dollars annually benefiting local small businesses, and we have appreciated those partnerships with you so much. So again, this webinar is one touch point on these changes, but it is certainly not the only one. If you have questions, as Jen has said, ask them today. Any questions moving forward, please reach out to us. And with that, I'll turn it over to Tiffany Jordan, our Manager of Contract Compliance, to explain the changes. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Kyle. Good afternoon, everyone. Today's presentation will be brief. I will cover the changes to the Business Opportunity Program. I'll discuss our communications going forward, 2025 outreach, as well as our certifications, our continued past success, our 5-year spend, as well as our current spend, Business to Government Now, which is our compliance software system of record, what to expect on upcoming contracts and existing contracts, and I'll conclude with open projects with Business Opportunity Program goals, just a few samples. All right, as Cal mentioned, the reason why we're hosting this webinar today is because we're making sure that we stay in conformance with the federal guidance. On November the 20th, we went to the board to authorize resolution number 271-25, authorizing the Business Opportunity Program to be SBE only, which is Small Business Enterprise Program. The program will be race and gender neutral. All MBE, which is minority-owned for minority business enterprises, as well as WBE, which is women business enterprises, will qualify as SBEs going forward. Again, as I mentioned, during that board meeting on the 20th of November, we approved the SBE, the Small Business Enterprise Policy, and we revoked the Minority Business Enterprise Policy as well as the Women Business Enterprise Policy. As Kyle mentioned, we like to stay transparent as it relates to all things that we do regarding the Business Opportunity Program. To date, we've emailed over 800 firms. We're also hosting this webinar here today to continue to stay transparent as we move forward. We're reaching out to currently certified firms in the program. We even reached back to firms that were once certified in the program if they want to come back and become recertified in the program, prime consultants, prime contractors, as well as our community leaders. Now, as it relates to 2025, the Business Opportunity Program participated in over 36 outreach events, which resulted in 294 SBE firms certified in the program in the area of engineering, construction, as well as goods and services. So our 5-year spend from 2020 through 2024, our grand total spend was over $2.6 million to our certified firms in the program. As it relates to our 2025 spend, what we have to date for our certified firms in the program, our grand total spend to date, and that number is still growing, is $29 million. Now to the software system of record. Many agencies around the county use the same software system of record, which is called B2G now. If you wish to become certified in a program again and you need to submit a new application, please do so. If you are going to recertify, please do so. Nothing will change as it relates to certifying in the program. Just your certification or your recertification will not say MBE, WBE. It would just simply say SBE going forward. We will continue to certify in our 4 areas, which is construction, engineering, as well as goods and services. We are currently working very closely with B2G as it relates to our files, such as import files, payment files, as well as contract files. We're sending that information over to B2G. They're making their changes as we send them. So that's still work in progress. But if you're doing any audits or anything like that, please continue to do business as usual. You will see the changes in the future. Now, if you go to the system of record B2G now, as it stands, you'll see this screen. This is a screenshot directly from their screen. It'll say MBE, WB, as well as SBE compliance system. Going forward, when we make the full change in B2G, make the changes within B2G, it will say SBE compliance system only. What we do have on our webinar, what we do have on our website, not webinar, what we do have on our website is a disclaimer. So when you go to our website, NEORSD.org, and you're going to click into our website, you will see this disclaimer listed here. And it's basically saying that you're entering into a third-party system, which is B2G Now, and that any reference to MBE or minority-owned businesses or anything like that will be removed, but as it stands right now, it has not. We will be going forward. We are, as of November the 20th, race and gender neutral program. As I mentioned, B2G just has not caught up with the district as it stands. Now, what to expect on contracts? For existing contracts, you'll receive a letter that amend and notify existing vendors. A letter will go out for existing contracts. For future contracts with BOP goals, you'll see the feature that will say SBE percentage only. It will say SBE percentage only. So let me give you an example of that. So what I like to add is that goals are set on a project by project basis. Right. So prior to November 20th, you would see typically 2 goals, right? 10% MBE, WBE is the example that's given here, and a 5% SBE, right? That's what the goals look like in the past. Or like I said, on a project by project basis, it may say 8% MBE or 5% SBE or 3% SBE. But going forward, that total goal will be SBE only. So as it says, current contract goals and goals that we had in the past will say SBE only. So let me step back. Let me talk about contracts in the past. So if there's a contract that was in the past that said 10% MBE, WBE and 5% SBE, those 2 goals will be combined. It says 15% SBE, and everything going forward will say 15% or 8% or 5% SBE going forward. I hope that's clear. Now, as I mentioned, the letters, so far we scrubbed our database and we looked at four departments: engineering, construction, watersheds, operation maintenance, as well as information technologies. And we looked at the various contracts to see if there were any business opportunity goals placed on those contracts. If there are, you'll receive a letter to amend, and it'll just simply say that, there were some BOP goals and we're removing MBE, from those particular projects and moving forward with the SBE, Race and Gender Neutral Program. If you're working on a project with the district as a consultant or a prime, and there are not any BOP goals on those projects, then nothing to worry about. You would just continue forward, but everything will say SBE as we go forward. Now, I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. This is my final slide, then I'm going to turn it back over to Jen. This slide was just a few projects that I pulled off of our website. Some of them are in our CIP. All of our projects are placed on our website. The first project is Big Creek CSO-059 storage tank. Will be let in first quarter of 2026. The estimate is 17 million. And then the next project is BCSO -2 Bel Air Tunnel and BC regulators. First quarter estimate at 24 million. Next project, district-wide renewal of Culvert Streams 2 ROCS 2A. Again, first quarter estimate at 15.2 million. And the last project that's listed there is district HVAC upgrade phase 3. First quarter estimate at 8.5 million. Again, this is just a sample of projects that will go out in the first quarter of 2026. To find more projects, as you see in the lower right-hand corner, there's our website at NEORSD.org. So with that, I thank you. And I'd like to turn it back over to Jen at this time.
Thank you very much, Tiffany, and thank you to those of you who have asked questions in our Q&A. Just as a reminder, at the bottom of your screen, there should be a talk bubble with a question mark in it, and it says Q&A just below that. If you do have any questions for us, we would be more than happy to answer those. So Tiffany, we do have some questions that have come through. I've typed answers to a couple of them, but we do have a question about if our prior WBEs and MBEs, if they have a revenue that ultimately exceeds a certain threshold, will they be prohibited from being considered an SBE in our business opportunity program? So maybe you could talk a little bit more about the dollar values for our small business enterprises.
Yes, thank you, Jen. So as it relates, as I mentioned before in the presentation, everyone would transition to MBE, WBE that are currently MBE, WBE, you will transition over to SBE. What Jen is referring to is the size standards, right? So if you qualify, regardless of whether you're MBE, WBE, or SBE, if the size standards is one that is still low enough to remain in our program, then you can do so. So just note that the size standards vary per industry. So if you are, I don't know if it's electrical versus engineering, that size standard is quite different. And then also that's based on a 5-year average, right? So if you meet that size standards, then you're still qualifying, you're still eligible for the program. And again, please feel free to reach out to me. And also, I do have 2 certification officers. That's Nora Singleton as well as Edwin Nunez that can assist with any certification or recertification questions.
Thank you. And there's actually a question here if we have possibly considered having a micro SBE group within the plan, because there might be some companies that are very, very small that would like to continue to do work with the district.
We will consider that. We'll talk about that as a group. We're still developing our SBE program going forward. But as it stands, we're looking at the SBE size standard, SBA, excuse me, which is the SBA size standards that we develop our program after, model our program after.
Sorry, I'm just typing an answer for somebody really quickly.
So we
and then
sorry, Jen.
No,
I
that's
just wanted
okay.
to make a point of clarification on that. So again, the true answer is that we model our program after the federal size standards. So that's what we are currently doing.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And I have somebody that would like to know if clerical and office services data entry would be considered a part of goods and services.
Yes, yes. Thank you. And please come get certified.
Absolutely. Information about the certification process is available online at neorsc.org/opportunity. And again, this webinar is recorded and it will be posted there as well. And then one final question, unless someone else is typing really quickly, is somebody would like to know if we will still have an underutilized contractor and consultant list that we are able to provide to prime contractors.
Yes, thank you for the question. So the underutilized list is still, we still will have that list is still available and nothing will change. The underutilized list, there's some eligibility criteria to be a part of that list, but it doesn't have anything to do with race or gender.
You. And if you could talk a little bit about, because this is something that I don't know, so sorry folks, I'm not able to answer this one, but I'll pass it over to Tiffany. If
Okay.
you could talk a little bit more about the BOP participation scoring criteria for the RFPs, and if that criteria will be revised um, to address some concerns about some of the BOP work categories.
As it relates to RFPs and RFQs, we're looking at all things, right? We're looking at bids, design bids, RFP, RFQs, and we're looking at all documents as we're making the transition to this program. We're doing that on a daily basis. So if that is something that is going to come up going forward that may have involve race and gender or have an impact on our program, we definitely and certainly will take a look at that as well.
Thank you, Tiffany. And somebody did ask if we will be sending out a recording to folks who were registered. We can absolutely do that for everybody who is registered today, directing you to the site so that you have that directly. And just one final question. Is the underutilized list, is it something that's available, and how do folks know if they are on that list?
Great question. So the underutilized contractor list or subcontractor list are it is ran on the monthly basis. So please reach out to me, or anyone on my team, and we can get you that list to see if you're on it. There's some eligibility criteria. I don't want to give out bad information, but there's like some math that goes into it, such as how long, if you have not been on the district project, that's one of the eligibility criteria within a certain period of time. There's a formula that goes into that. That's why that list is ran once a month to see who was to remain on the list or who will fall off. So it doesn't stay the same. So yeah, please reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to get you the list.
Great. And I just dropped another couple of things in the chat for folks. Again, the website to get more information and to watch the recording of this video. It's available at neorsd.org/opportunity. And if you're watching a recording or if you have any other questions that you didn't have time to ask today, if you can feel free to submit those to AskUs, ASKUS, at neorsd.org. And and with that, there are a couple of other questions just came into the chat, but we will be sure to answer those for you folks directly for this to get everybody time to get back to running their very, very important businesses. And with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. And I hope to see you on future contracts. Thank you.
Thank you.